Hey, folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. How are you? How you doing? Are you good? Are you happening? Are you... just breathing a sigh of just, I don't know. It's there. Had to, something I rarely do, but I do it every so often, and that is explain where I stand, you know. It's just, it's one of those things where you just, you know, you go, you know, I'm getting sick and tired of listening to everybody and, you know, talk badly about how President Trump is doing this and he's a dumbass and all that, you know. I'm actually absolutely done with that crap. Okay? Just completely done with it. And every so often I have to explain myself as to who I am and what it is I believe and how I stand specifically on, you know, the criticism that other people are engaging in toward our president. Now, is President Trump perfect? No. Does he know everything? No. Does he have people around him that are doing things that we don't like? Yeah, some of them are. Other ones are just like getting right up in other people's faces and telling them what for. Like General Mattis, I think today just told North Korea, you F with us, we'll kill you. That's General Mattis. Mad Dog Mattis. That's the way we ought to be to every country. You mess with us, we'll wipe you off the face of the map. I don't really give a shit. Pardon my French, but that's the way it should be. Now, of course, we'll have people like, the members of the United Nations, which is another nefarious globalist group, telling the U.S. they can't do that. Well, we can just get the hell out of the UN. We don't need their resolutions or anything to tell us what we can and cannot do. So, I like General Mattis. Thank you, sir, for sticking up for America. Appreciate that. Every once in a while, I got to explain myself and where I stand. I do it rarely. I used to do it a lot, but, you know, people kept telling me, you don't have to explain yourself. Every so often, I think people forget where I stand. So, every so often, I got to explain myself. So let me, I'm going to get a little adult language going on here. Not that I haven't already used it, but I'm just saying. Cover the ears of your children and of your animals and all of that. And if you're offended, get thicker skin. I'm the most politically incorrect person you will ever know. I have my own perspectives and preferences. I interpret what I see, hear, read by using my academic filters that I have because Mama didn't raise no fool and Grandma taught me better. I'm well educated, thanks to them, and I prefer not to cater to the concept someone else has for me in my life. I read, research, clarify, verify, and validate everything I read, hear, or see. So when I say that Alex Jones is right and has been for a very long time, that ain't no bullshit. But I also say that there are things he's said that I don't quite agree with. He tells people to do their own research as well. I listen to a lot of people, from Rush Limbaugh to Glenn Beck to Michael Savage to Mark Levin, from Sean Hannity to Spencer Hughes. They all have valid points. Do they know everything? No, no one does. Are they right about everything? No. No one is completely right or wrong about anything or everything. They just open up subjects and discuss the issues. So don't call me a conspiracy theorist, because I'm not. And I don't... And don't say I'm wrong when you don't have all the information either. This has been a general statement by me. Now back to your continual distractions. I will put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast. It's on my personal page, but I will put it on the podcast page. A little adult language for you today, because I'm going to read you one other thing. And I'm going to make this very clear to all of you anti-Trump, social justice warrior, liberal supporting, treasonous politicians as well, and all the people that support them. I'm going to put this out here, and frankly, you got to get thicker skin, because obviously if you're offended, you're a wuss. I'm just telling you. I have a statement for all those anti-Trump people. If you truly want a fascist nation, get the hell out of here and move to Venezuela or some other shithole. You're better off there than you are here. And since you don't like peace, freedom, liberty, and security, and a secure border, you're the problem, not the solution. That's on my personal page. I shall not share that. John Bound, Infowars.com, 10th of August 2017. Goliath pedo government loses a major nemesis. From former Nebraska senator fought to expose child sex rings in the U.S. And believe me, folks, there's plenty of them. Former Nebraska Senator John DeCamp passed away recently. DeCamp left behind a heroic legacy of efforts intended on exposing the child sex slave networks operating throughout the U.S., leading to the highest and most powerful offices in the country. By the way, a part of that is your Child Protective Services. It's on record, folks. I'm not just putting it out there. You got to go find this stuff yourself. Now, here's something interesting. Jerome Corsi, Infowars.com, 10th of August 2017. Sheriff Arpaio says, why is Obama still running the Justice Department? Yeah, former President Obama. Department of Justice denied Arpaio his right to a jury trial. After being convicted of criminal misdemeanor contempt, former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio continues to attack the Obama holdovers in the Trump Justice Department, who seeking to imprison him for enforcing the very immigration laws President Trump has sworn to enforce. Quote, why is Barack Obama still running the Trump Justice Department, unquote, Arpaio asked Infowars.com in an exclusive interview. Quote, ironically, this is a revenge prosecution in which Obama holdovers in the Justice Department are seeking to enforce a court order that socialist La Raza lawyer Tom Perez imposed on me because I refused to make Maricopa County into a sanctuary for illegal immigrants, unquote. That's going up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. I've only got patience enough for myself. I don't have patience for idiots, okay? For people who just completely ignore the obvious and think that everything should be, a more equal, more level, Let me tell you something. There's going to be winners and losers. I don't give one rip what you think. There's going to be winners and losers. Giving your kids participation awards just because they participated is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. There are going to be winners and losers, okay? Period. Your kids are going to be excelling in certain areas, but other kids are going to be getting participation awards along with your child who excelled in sports or academics or whatever. Why? Because of these stupid political correct policies that they have in these governmental indoctrination institutes. Oh, don't get me started on those. Let me go here. And I'm going to put up this article. BuzzFeed, remember them? BuzzFeed purchased an array of InfoWars products and sent them to a lab for testing. And surprisingly, the results they reported were very good. So I'm going to put this up there. I'm going to let Owen Schroyer and Alex Jones tell you all that because it's a video, folks. All right. So I'm going to put that up there. I just cannot, and I'm just gonna put it out here. It's my own perspective. It's my own 2 cents. It's whatever it's worth to you. If I sound bitter, if I sound angry, I don't mean to. I don't mean to sound bitter or mean. Or angry. And B, when you, let me put myself in this position. When I've spent the last 40 years investigating and researching various subjects, various cultures, various political ideologies and philosophies, various religious cults and all. When I've spent the last 40 years studying this stuff, researching this stuff, talking to people, doing all the stuff that you have to do in research, and you come to the conclusion that there is, 2 types of people and 2 types of groups in this country, specifically in the United States, you tend to gravitate to those people who have all the right information, who have all the facts, who have all the information that they have to tell you more about what's going on. You tend to do that. But you also tend, because of how I am, I tend to keep digging no matter what. And I found that about 60% of all of the groups that are out there that are saying they're for America and this is the truth and all these libertarian, so-called libertarian groups, about 60%, maybe that's a little much, it might be a little less, about 60% of them have been infiltrated by paid provocateurs, people that have got disinformation and misinformation and all of that, and they're infiltrating these groups, or they're creating their own to engage in disinformation. And so that's why I dig as much as I dig. That's why I continue to go down the rabbit hole. Because I want to give you the information that is true and factual. Now, there's a lot of stuff that I see that I don't report on. There's a lot of stuff I don't comment on, because I want to make sure that it's truthful and accurate. And when I've spent the last, I don't know, I would say almost 10 years now, longer than that actually, but intently for 10 years almost, looking at what Alex Jones has talked about, I can tell you that I myself personally can say that about 90% of what he says, maybe 95%, is absolutely 100% truthful and factual. And you got a lot of groups out there that'll bring people forward and have all these things together and say, well, Alex Jones is part of this and he's this group. And, what about Stratfor? What about this? What about it? You're only giving me vague information. Why not dig a little deeper as I have and find the real truth of the matter? Then we can discuss it. But if you ain't got the balls to do that or the energy to keep up with me, then there's the door. Bye. Have a nice day. That's just my 2 cents worth. Max Slavo, SHTFplan.com, 10th of August 2017. The military surveillance plane has been there's a picture. This military surveillance plane has been circling Seattle for weeks and nobody knows why. Day after day, a nondescript aircraft has been flying circles over their city and the government hasn't fully explained why it's in the area. For the past 2 weeks, the residents of Seattle have been witnessing a very strange occurrence. Day after day, a nondescript aircraft has been flying circles over the city, and the government hasn't fully explained why it's in the area. It's been identified as, you might want to jot this number down, folks, CN-235, and its only marking is an Air Force serial number. What we do know about the craft is that it is decked out with highly advanced surveillance equipment. So that's going on the American Liberty Radio podcast page. You guys go check it out. Assess it on your own. Investigate it on your own. I'm just telling you what I'm reading. There it is. There it is. Right there on American Liberty Radio podcast. Right there on Facebook. And Facebook is censoring people. As well as Google and YouTube, or YouTube, Google, whatever it is. GoogleTube, I don't know. What the hell? They're censoring people. Breitbart is reporting today, the 10th of August 2017, Murdoch's Wall Street Journal tries to take over Trump White House for McMaster's and Globalists. The paper of choice for Republican globalists hopes that there is more, quote, cleanup duty to be done, unquote, for new White House Chief of Staff John Kelly. The Wall Street Journal and its publisher Rupert Murdoch appear to be using President Trump's national security advisor, H.R. McMaster, as their latest weapon in their continuing battle against Trump's America First agenda and movement that enabled Trump to shock the world on election night. After Trump won the White House, Democrats and the deep state and the legacy media have often worked together to delegitimize Trump, which is something Trump has every reason to be angry about. But the Journal, by mimicking Joe Scarborough and attempting to marginalize Trump's nationalist advisors, is subtly trying to take over Trump's presidency for the GOP establishment that Trump resoundingly defeated over and over and over again. In its latest edition on Wednesday, the paper of choice for Republican globalists hopes that there is more cleanup duty to be done for new White House Chief of Staff John Kelly. The paper targets White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon for opposing McMaster's, quote, favoring more troops, unquote, in Afghanistan and McMaster's insistence on not getting out of the Iran deal. The Journal laments that the policy brawls in the White House, in which it often seems like Bannon is the lone American first nationalist in a cage match with a team of globalists who have never understood Trump's agenda, cause dysfunction. It says read more, so it's going up on a American Liberty Radio podcast. Told you. Right there. There it is. There's both Republican and Democrats in a party called the Progressive Party who are complete and total globalists who want to destroy the United States of America. Period. Told you about it. And there you go. There's some verification for you right there. Read that. It's on American Liberty Radio podcast. Yeah. Yep. Here's another one. First of all, let me explain this. Number one, the FBI, certain people of the FBI, the good guys in the FBI, not the globalist pieces of crap, but the good guys of the FBI have found that there was no collusion, no evidence at all ever in a pile of stuff that they received that Donald Trump ever was, that Donald Trump and the presidency of the election was never hacked into, was never funded or operated behind the scenes by the Russian government at all, period, end of sentence, done. Never happened. But you see, the globalists like Robert Mueller is going to continue to try to find something to pin on Donald Trump, President Trump, in regards to the Russian collusion theory that they had. And he's doing it. He's not connecting the dots because there are no dots to connect, but he's going after him no matter what. I'm just saying. New York Times confirms Mueller's fishing expedition behind FBI raid of Paul Manafort. Mueller was supposed to be investigating Russian collusion in a report contracting the Washington Post. The New York Times reported Wednesday afternoon the FBI's raid on former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort was due to his alleged failure to disclose foreign bank account. The Bank Secrecy Act, which requires Americans to disclose any foreign bank accounts holding over $10,000, is widely criticized law. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans are violating due to mere happenstance, the punishment for which is generally a large fine. Mueller was supposed to be investigating Russian collusion. The money Manafort reported received from Russian aluminum tycoon Oleg Deripaska for work in the Ukraine was given from around 2006 to 2012. It has nothing to do with the 2016 election, where Manafort was briefly hired by Trump to secure delegates as the Republican establishment was conspiring to steal them. As a reminder, this is how the Washington Post reported on this warrant earlier today. And this was, let me give you the dates, Chris Menahan, Information Liberation, 10th of August, 2017. Let me just put this up on American Liberty Radio podcast for you. Let me just do that. Are you guys getting that? American Liberty Radio podcast? Go to Facebook, if you're on it, and find American Liberty Radio podcast. And tell me what you think. It's all right there. It's all in your face. It's all in your face. All of it. Hillary Clinton's back in the news. Has she ever left? Jerome Corsi is reporting yesterday. He reported, Justice Department offers plea deal to Hillary, noted Clinton author reports. Will Justice Department reverse Comey to reopen email investigation? Washington, D.C. In an exclusive telephone interview with Infowars.com, noted Clinton author Ed Klein affirmed the reliability of his source for the story he published yesterday on the 8th, that the Justice Department has reopened the investigation of Hillary Clinton's mishandling of classified information on her private email system while she was Secretary of State, and is considering offering her a plea bargain if she were willing to plead guilty. So there you go. That one's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Now, I'm just telling you what's going on, folks. I'm reading you part of the articles. I'm giving you the links. I just encourage you to look this stuff up yourself and check it out on your own. Because honestly, I cannot tell you what to think. I cannot tell you what to believe. I cannot throw you on the ground, on your face, pull your arm behind your back and tell you to believe me. Not gonna happen. You guys have your own perspectives. You guys can make up your own minds. You guys can do what you need to do. I mean, it's simple. You just keep digging. Just go. Just keep digging. You'll find the answer. But it's not going to be the answer I want you to have. It's going to be the answer you find for yourself. So that's why I encourage you to go check this stuff out on your own. Excuse me, I got to take some water here. Yeah. Couple of things I want to share with you that I've seen. I've noticed that the anti-Trump people, are not very well educated. I just, they may know a lot. I'm not going to say that they don't know, but they're not very well educated. And they're going to keep screaming at the top of their lungs that we need to impeach President Trump. That ain't going to happen. Shut the hell up. Let's just knock that point number one out of the way. Impeaching him is never going to happen. The other thing I want to mention about these anti-Trump people is that they're more inclined to be around social justice warriors than they are around people who want peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the United States of America. This makes them the enemy of the people. Enemy in air quotes, because they haven't gone out to purposely hurt or harm anyone like the social justice warriors. And the social justice warriors are basically paid provocateurs by the Soros groups that fund them. And they are the enemy of the people. So when you actually go out and you're I chuckle because I can understand the insanity in all this. When you go out to protest, when you go out and protest something and want changes, these social justice warriors, these anti-Trump people, these pro-immigration, pro-open borders people, they'll go out and literally do physical harm to someone. And they will say that they want peaceful ends to all of this. They want, no. They're a bunch of dumbasses. All of them are. They're just out there because they want their 15 minutes of fame and tell their friends they did something for whatever reason. So, my message to you, anti-Trumpers and social justice warriors and all you fascist pigs out there that want to impeach Donald Trump, I got a message for you, and it's real simple. You ain't got crap to even throw out a freaking window, because you ain't got a foundation to stand on, because you're dumber than that crap you just tried to throw out the window. I'm being nice, because I've used some adult language earlier in the podcast, so I don't want to use any more. So you social justice warriors are dumber than freaking dirt. Okay, I'm just saying. All right? You're dumb. You're just stupid. I'll be back right after this. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. Check out Late Night in the Midlands with your host Michael Vera at LateNightInTheMidlands.com, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go to LateNightInTheMidlands.com. The world as we know it has been turned upside down. The leaders are faced with possible annihilation from their enemies. The United States is at the brink of a total collapse. This is the reality we live in. What can be done? The truth, the facts. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. American Liberty Radio Network. The History of America Abridged.
Excuse me?
That's right. The History of America Abridged. Nova Center for the Performing Arts presents The History of America Abridged. Who really discovered America? Why did Abe Lincoln free the slaves? How many Democrats does it take to screw in a light bulb?
What?
Nova Center for the Performing Arts will answer those questions and more.
I hope so.
They will. May I continue?
Yes.
That's The History of America Abridged, presented by Nova Center for the Performing Arts. For more information about dates and times and tickets, contact Nova Center for the Performing Arts on their website at www.novabillings.org. Hey folks, welcome back. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Black Polka Dots, John Dealey and the 41 Players. That's the music you hear there. Yes. John Dealey and the 41 Players with Black Polka Dots. You can find that on YouTube. Yeah, go check that out. Thank you there, John Dealey and the 41 Players. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, folks, American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com. Go to Spreaker.com if you have an idea for a show, you want to host your own podcast, you want to host a live show, you can do that. Go to Spreaker.com. There's a package that fits your budget right there. Go check out the plans. They got some very affordable plans, and you'll like them. That's Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anyway, having fun today. It's the 10th of August, 2017. Goodness gracious sakes alive. Now here's something kind of interesting from yesterday. Rob Dew is joined by Ruben Obed live via Skype from Puerto Rico to discuss his cover of the InfoWars song We Love Our Somalis. Puerto Ricans actively resist globalist takeover. InfoWars folk song cover contest participant blasts the elite. So, there you go. A little something for you on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Go look that up there, eh? I've got some distant relatives in Canada. So, you Canadians up there, love you. Been there. I've been to Parry Sound. Oh, my God. That place is so beautiful. Love that place. Parry Sound, Ontario, man. You guys in Ontario, you rock, man. You guys in Canada, yeah. I don't particularly like your politics, but I love your country. You know what I'm saying? I love America, too. So, you guys got to do something up there before you lose it. I'm just saying. Just saying. Also, I got family in the UK, some distant relatives. I can tell you their names, but you wouldn't know them. So, yeah. So, you people in England and the UK, you guys rock, man. You got Paul Joseph Watson and Steve Watson over there. You guys rock. I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. So if there's anything that you guys want to tell me about what's happening in your neck of the woods in Canada and in the UK, all you got to do is email me, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. So there you go. Oh, goodness gracious, folks. I'm heard in Reykjavik. There we go, I guess. I don't know. I'm heard in Iceland, folks. Yeah. I'm heard way over there. All right. I broadcast from Billings, Montana, in FEMA Region 8. And to be totally honest with you, we're sitting on top of a volcanic caldera, which hasn't really, I mean, it's had a lot of activity in the last couple of months, but very little as far as magma flow under the earth, and, it's bubbling. It's like, your pot on the stove. It's just bubbling. It's all it's doing. Things are shaking, rocking and rolling around here. We've had plenty of earthquakes. 2.0s, 2.5s, 3.2, I think, earlier in the week. And we had a 4 point something, 4.2 or 4.6, somewhere like that. So, yeah, it's rocking and rolling up here, folks. That's one of the things that we worry about. But, hey, when it's your time to go, you know what I'm saying? There's other things we have to worry about. Less catastrophic, but just as important. And Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com, is reporting on the 10th of August 2017, Black Sky event. Feds preparing for widespread power outages across the U.S. Experts gear up for catastrophe that would, quote, bring society to its knees, unquote. Federal government agencies are preparing for the possibility of widespread power outages across the U.S. as a result of a black sky event that could bring society to its knees. An exercise sponsored by FEMA and the U.S. Department of Energy set to take place on August 23rd called Earth X 2017 will war game responses to catastrophes such as mega earthquakes, cyber terrorism, or high-altitude electromagnetic pulse attacks. The exercise will simulate a, quote, subcontinent scale, long-duration power outage with cascading failures of all other infrastructures, unquote, according to official Earth X website. That's eiscouncil.com/EarthX. I will put that I will put that link on American Liberty Radio podcast right now. I just clicked on it, so there you go. It's going up on the American Liberty Radio podcast. It's published. There we go. Let me go back to the article, and let me post that as well. So... and there we go. It's published. It's on Facebook. Brian Williams, who lied and has continued to lie for many, many years. Remember his lie of being fired at when he was in a helicopter in, Afghanistan or something like that? Yeah, another MSM bullcrap artist. King of fake news, Brian Williams, quote, "Our job is to scare people to death," unquote. Networks argue Trump's words are more dangerous than North Korean nukes. Brian Williams, a man who was suspended from MSNBC for making up fake news reports, stated on a broadcast last night that he considers it his job to fearmonger on topics such as North Korea. Quote, "Our job tonight actually is to scare people to death on this subject, so the talk isn't as free as it is about a preemptive or surgical military strike," unquote, Williams bizarrely claimed during a discussion about North Korea's saber rattling and President Trump's response. Quote, "You know that part of the world, the population centers, Andrea and the General Barry McCaffrey have talked about South Korea, the Japanese, and so on, unquote," Williams added. Andrea Mitchell claimed that Trump's message that more threats from North Korea will be met with fire and fury, quote, "could have been a signal to Beijing as well," unquote. Quote, "Listen up, take this seriously. It could have been President Trump sending signals to a number of directions," unquote, Mitchell added. Mitchell argued that, quote, "a surgical strike, it's simply not possible," unquote. There you go. I'm not going to read the rest. The rest of it is up to you. American Liberty Radio podcast on Facebook. Go check that out. Seriously. Whoops. Where'd it go? I thought I posted it. Well, there it is. I did, but it didn't have a preview picture on it. Okay. That's kind of odd there. Let me see here. Delete. I gotta do the right thing here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so there you go. So let me go over here. Let me do this one more time. What is the most important subject that we all need to talk about? I mean, are we eventually going to have a world war? Yeah. I mean, forget about the saber rattling from North Korea. We can wipe them off the map and no problem whatsoever. China would be pissed off. Russia would be pissed off. I don't care. We tried to negotiate and use diplomacy with you in negotiations for China to stop North Korea from being a baby and stop that fat bastard Kim Jong cheeseburger from, throwing a tantrum every time he doesn't get his way. But China and Russia are not helping. So we're going to point our missiles at North Korea and say, you want to go for it? I mean, the only way that is ever going to diffuse itself is if you take out Kim Jong-un. That bottom line. It's the only way it's ever going to diffuse itself, due to the fact that you've got the inner workings of that government under his leadership that are loyal to him. It's going to be a very difficult thing to stop him from doing what he's doing. And And now it's been confirmed that they have miniature warheads inside the rockets. Okay? So and these rockets can hit Guam, can hit the U.S. I'm just putting it out there, folks. So what do we do? What do we do? All hope is lost. Oh my God, we're all going to die. Shut the hell up. You're not going to die. Well, eventually, one day, you're going to get old and frail and make your transition to the other side. But in this situation, we have to look at Kim Jong-un and we need to understand his mentality. His mentality is destroy everything that he doesn't like. In other words, he's a big fat, baby with, that threw a temper tantrum and somebody took his rattle and now he's pissed off. I mean, that's just the way it is. China's not stopping him. China could. China can go in there with, a couple of 100,000 military troops and just plant themselves right there at his front door and go, Kim, we need to talk. They're not going to do it. But if they side with North Korea, then we need to cut off all commerce from China and to China. We need to cut them off. Of course, they're going to see that as an act of war, and they can just walk right over in the U.S. and take about half of this country since we owe them so damn much. So how do we stop this from ever happening? Well, it's pretty simple. We take them out. I mean, that's what General Mattis just said today. And pardon my adult language, but I'm going to say this. General Mattis said, you fuck with us, we'll kill you. That's what General Mattis said. And I am behind that general. I'm beside him. If he said, hey, I know you're prior military and I know you've been out a while, but we need every available adult male that we can get in leadership position, I'd be there. I'd be going, what do you want me to do, General? Let's do this. I don't like people who are ignorant, never have, never will, not because of any of my own preferences, but it's just I don't like ignorant people. I don't like people who want to destroy the United States of America either. I think it's kind of, well, not kind of. I think it's stupid that other countries want to destroy the United States of America, including the country of North Korea. They want to try to kill us, and it's like, it's not going to happen. You want a surgical strike? You wait till Kim Jong Cheeseburger is in his home and you take him out. That means the military is going to take over North Korea and probably invade South Korea, and then we'll have to go back there again. But you have to do what you have to do with the cooperation of other countries who are against war, who are against this little fat bastard from throwing his damn temper tantrum all the time. And the fact of the matter is that that's the only other way that it can work to stop all of this from ever happening. You got two choices. Either you go in there and you tell him and you spank him and you tell him enough is enough and you lodge sanctions against him and North Korea and you just cut them off from everybody. That's one solution. The other solution is, the other option I should say, is to take them out. But then that would entail a whole, bunch of other countries getting pissed off. So which one is the most effective? I mean, seriously. I personally don't want to see ground troops in Korea. I don't. I don't want to see ground troops anywhere. I want all of our military back home protecting our borders, protecting our shores, and that's it. But because we have this whole thing about the UN being so, whatever, and it seems to me, and I think a lot of people would agree that it about this, it seems to me that the United States of America is the world's police, and we just have to stop it. We're not, you guys want to, I mean, look at Venezuela right now. Venezuela is like no laws, no nothing. Their country is totally collapsed. Do you want to see that in America? No, I don't. You got people out in the street fighting for a piece of bread. Hello, that's stupid. Are we going to have to go invade Venezuela and set up a puppet government and get things back on track and get things safe and peaceful? I certainly hope not. But at some point, somebody's going to have to go in there and clean up that mess. And as far as I'm concerned, we're the world's police and we shouldn't do it. No, let it collapse. Just burn it. Let it go. Somebody somewhere will change things and hopefully, within the next 20 or 30 years, make the country better again. But, it's all these civil wars our military-industrial complex starts and then gets themselves into and then says they have a solution. Yeah, problem, reaction, solution. How's that one for, How'd you like to wake up one morning in a position of leadership knowing full well that you got to cater to that type of philosophy, the problem, reaction, solution of Cloward and Piven? I think that's who it was, right? Yeah, our military-industrial complex goes and causes civil war in other countries, and then our country, our leaders here go, well, we need to go over there and protect the people. Well, okay, we started the crap. Why don't we just stop? You see where all this is headed? Do you understand the track record the United States of America has in the rest of the world and why everybody is pissed off at the U.S.? Yeah, because we're the ones that start most of the wars. Why? Because we're freaking bored. The military-industrial complex has nothing to do. The military contractors can't build anything if nothing's happening. No one makes profits. No money's floating around. The Federal Reserve doesn't get their tribute from their elites that own the banks, and do you understand where it's going? You understand how this all plays out and all works? Do you I chuckle because, again, I don't like ignorant people. Ignorant, not in this bad. There's some really uneducated people out there, yeah. But what I'm talking about is ignorant people who are ignoring the obvious. Okay? All right? So, I mean, seriously. Can you say that you have the right answer for the right reason for the right moment? No, you can't. You can't. Because you don't. You're just going to kick your shoes off, put your feet up on the stool and watch ESPN and just hope everything burns down around you so you can walk out and go, oh, good, nobody's around. I can do whatever I want now. It's just... I don't know, folks. I don't know. You guys got to do what you guys got to do, and that's, I mean, if you think by doing what you're doing, by just sitting around on your ass and doing nothing, if you think that's ever going to make any changes in the U.S., you are absolutely wrong. I mean, seriously. The Hill is reporting as of yesterday, the 9th of August, 2017, ACLU suing DC Metro for rejecting Milo ads. ACLU is representing a, quote, diverse group of plaintiffs, unquote, in a new lawsuit. The American Civil Liberties, I screw that phrase up all the time. The American Civil Liberties Union is suing Washington's Metro for pulling or rejecting controversial ads, which the organization claims violates the freedom of speech. The ACLU is representing a diverse group of plaintiffs in a new lawsuit, including an abortion provider, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, and conservative firebrand Milo Yiannopoulos. Quote, to put it mildly, these plaintiffs have nothing in common politically, but together they powerfully illustrate the indivisibility of the First Amendment, unquote. The ACLU said in a blog post Wednesday, quote, our free speech rights rise and fall together, whether left, right, pro-choice, anti-choice, vegan, carnivore, or none of the above, unquote. That's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. It says read more, that's why I'm putting it up there. You are the people of the United States of America. You are the backbone of this nation. You are the entrepreneurs. You are the doctors, the nurses, the CNAs, the truck drivers, the cab drivers, the Lyft and Uber driver. You are the backbone of this country. Why are you letting a small percentage of people break your damn backs for their agenda? Okay, to me, that's completely stupid. But that's just me. So anyway, if you like American Liberty Radio Network and you want to contribute to it in any way, shape, or form, please consider it. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. There's a couple of links there. There's a Patreon link, become a patron, and there's a PayPal link if you want to donate there. If you want to advertise on the network, hey, that's a win-win situation for both of us. So consider advertising on American Liberty Radio Network, if you so choose. Other than that, folks, you can donate. You can share your stories. You can share your, where you live, what's happening in your neck of the woods by emailing me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. So I would appreciate your input. So you can go to American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook or American Liberty Radio Podcast. Either one of those will work. Or you can email me. Again, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. It is one of those days, folks. It's just one of those days. I don't know where to begin, folks. I honestly do not know where to begin. I gave you the articles, I gave you the stories, I gave you all of that. I encourage you to go out and look this stuff up on your own, assess it however you want, interpret it however you want, and draw your own conclusion. So there you go. I'm out of here, folks, for this Thursday, the 10th of August, 2017. I shall be back tomorrow for another American Liberty Radio podcast, so tune in to it tomorrow. This is American Liberty Radio Network, sharing with you the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com.